The first thing he said was that it's genetic. So, in my opinion, from my comprehension, from reading the Bible, is that the story starts off with Adam and Eve, and then we go to Cain and Abel, and then it breaks down to the lineage of Joseph, who is a descendant of Adam. It's not that there aren't other people on the planet, but this book is about that bloodline of people. And Joseph, we know, is an altruistic person because he takes on the responsibility of fathering and parenting a baby that he know damn well ain't his, because this lady said that an angel came and that the Holy Spirit impregnated her, which sounds like bullshit to even somebody with a large amount of faith. If your girlfriend come home talking about she got pregnant through immaculate conception while you was working late, you are not going to believe her. So the fact that he had enough faith to do it anyway, we could talk about why all day long, but ultimately it doesn't make sense. So to say it's genetic then kind of confirms my original kind of thought that that's really the point of telling you in the Bible. It gets boring telling so and so begot so and so begot so and so begot so and so. You got to know who the father is, who the lineage is, so you can understand the nature of the so and so that you are dealing with. I don't believe everybody's a child of God. I don't believe everybody can connect or tap in. I don't believe that God is talking to everybody. I don't believe it's hope for everybody. I don't believe everybody has the opportunity to be good. I don't believe that everybody is born good. And every good for nothing, low down, dirty, rotten hood rat that I have ever met, her mama was just like that too. And just like genes, you might have a family, everybody in the family got brown eyes and one person got blue eyes. Everybody might come out dark skin, one person might come out light skin. Everybody in the family might be tall, and then you have one kid that's short. Everybody in the family might have curly hair, then you got that one kid that has the straight hair because the genes are going to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So now, being altruistic, we don't know if that is a recessive or a dominant gene. I would love to pull up that study. I'm gonna have to dig more into that. But regardless, so just because you and your siblings all have the same mommy and daddy, you don't inherit all the same genes. And especially if one of the parents aren't altruistic, it is highly then probable that it's not going to hit all the kids. It might just be one. So they are literally repulsed by the idea of considering other people because it is in their nature to put themselves first. And then at the end, he talks about even to their detriment. Well, I'm telling you, the shit that has been going on in my family since I left them people alone, I almost literally, some of this, I feel bad for them. I'm like, damn, Karma, did you have to put on your steel toe boots with the spurs on the back and kick up in these people's asses? Yes, I did. Yes, I actually did. Karma, did you really have to go through and tear these people up? And some of these people, it's like, I know what you did. I know why Karma's tearing that ass up. But see, this is what I'm about to say, pray for your enemies. Because when they finally get what they deserve, it is really what they deserve. They deserve it. But you being an altruistic person, when you see these people getting exactly what they deserve, that shit gonna hurt you. You gonna feel bad for them because of how you are made up. And that's why God allows them to do certain shit and allows you to go through certain things until you move out the way. I don't want you riding around in the car with them. I don't want you living in the same house with them. I don't care that it's your mama, because the karma is going to come and it is going to hit them so bad. And see, I'm going to prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Your enemies might not be able to watch you eat because they might be too busy with karma steel toe boot with spur on it on the back of their goddamn head. Okay. But that don't mean that you're supposed to stop eating while they get their karma. Okay. My stepmother, for example, is apparently very sick and has had reoccurring cancers and bad treatment. I mean, they are removing it and it pop back up and remove it and it pop. And she's going through the chemo and she's sick and this, that, and the third. I was always very nurturing to that alcoholic. Okay. I would clean up after her, make sure she had water, look after her, not be judgy or preachy or you need to stop. Hell, I bring another bottle of wine, but I'm not going to just let you lay in the bed and have wine all over you, the wall, the dog. I mean, this bitch was out of control. I would make sure I would bring her food and bring her water and still look out for her. You know what I mean? I remember her job came one time to check on her and she hadn't been to work in a week and she was so drunk and I didn't let the people that came looking for her see her in that condition. I was like, I was a teenager. We need to see her. And she's a lawyer. You know, this man he had a badge and everything. We need to see her. I was like, what, you think I got her in here held hostage? Her hair isn't done. She's really sick. And if I let you see her in this state, she will be so mad at me because she's not presentable. I mean, I was quick on my feet. They seen her in the condition she was in, she probably wouldn't have had no fucking job. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, what is the things that I got? Abuse. Abuse. And another TikTok video I was watching, they were talking about how alcohol really like erodes people's good sense and changes the molecular structure of the brain, and that alcoholics over time become very like primal in their thinking, and even when they are not drunk, all they can think about is the next minute and what's best for themselves. They can't even consider other people. And this is why I always tell women, like, don't marry no fucking alcoholic. Don't even marry a man who drinks a lot, because you're gonna be fighting and it's gonna be some shit. It's gonna be some shit. It's gonna be high drama. But at any rate, had she apologized to me for her bullshit like she was supposed to, just acknowledged it and not been so chicken shit about the things that she did, had the bitch not bribed everybody and had people lying for her and all, and kept the shit up for 20 years, then I would have been there to nurture her and look after her and make sure she get to her appointments and this, that, and the third. You understand what I'm saying? God does not want me doing that for that bitch, because God wants me here doing this. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, I have something else for you. You're supposed to be having Friday Night Live talking about how dumb everybody is, and this is your ministry. This is what you're supposed to be doing. I don't want you over there focusing that shit on her. Because first of all, I don't even know this bitch. Remember, she had the nerve to walk around here and say Jesus must be gay because he was walking around with 12 men all day. Remember that? Remember that? And then one of my children is supposed to be over there helping her in her time of need. Fuck her. Okay. This is what I want you to be doing. So it's like God will have some things for you. I want you to enjoy your family, enjoy your husband, enjoy your baby, enjoy all the non-drama that you do not have in your life because you chose to do the right thing. This bitch had more than you and more than enough opportunity to do what she was supposed to be doing, and she chose to be a horrible person instead. And it was a choice. It was a choice. And now the karma of those choices have come to bite her in the ass. Let your daddy, who doesn't fucking love her with his gold digging ass, let your gold digging ass daddy look after her. Okay. And she's the one who decided that instead of making herself somebody valuable enough and developing the skills that are required in order to get a decent man, or being independent and boss enough to be single, since she didn't want to work on herself and make a healthy decision, then let that bitch sit over there with your using ass daddy and what, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. You know, if we really look at the nature of God, and this is what people use to try to discredit God, you know, as far as the Bible and what is and what ain't, or all that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wasn't there. Okay. But for what I have seen and experienced in my own eyes of how God operates, what pisses people off all the time is, how can God let this happen? And why isn't he just jumping in to save everybody and to make sure everything is all roses and all peachy and cream and all that? Y'all don't appreciate that because you don't appreciate it anyway. They tried that first. That's the whole point of the book that we're supposed to read and comprehend, if nothing else. Here's paradise. Here's everything you need, and all you got to do is just lay here and eat fruit all day and hang out with animals. And here's a hot woman too. Here's everything you ever wanted, and you ain't even got to do much for it. And what is the nature of people when you hand it to them? What they gonna do? They gonna show their ass. And that's why you got natural disasters. And that's why you have turmoil. And that's why you got fucking hurricanes. And that's why you got fucking taxes. Because y'all don't appreciate nice shit. Magic Johnson came right down to Crenshaw in the middle of all that bullshit after the riots when niggas didn't have nothing because niggas tore everything up and put together the Magic Johnson Theater so niggas could go watch whatever fucking movie they wanted for $5.25. Did niggas go in there and sit their ass down and watch them movies? No. Niggas went in there gang banging. Niggas went in there shooting in the parking lot, in the movie theater, stealing shit, taking advantage of the women, having gang shootouts and shit like that. And niggas tore it up. Because niggas can't have shit. Don't appreciate nothing. You can't give these people nothing. So if you have that altruistic gene in you to be a do-gooder, it's nothing wrong with that. But you have to learn the hard way because nobody ain't gonna fucking tell you that there has to be balance. There's a responsibility that comes along with that. Because here's the thing: only the altruistic people are the ones who pour life into other people. You have something valuable that you give. But what was he talking about in the beginning about leadership? Just as much as you can say you're hired, you're promoted, you're fabulous, you get the gold star, a leader also can say you're fired and has to for the success of this whole thing. In order for you to have enough to continue to give, in order for you to keep the status of what it is, in order for these other fucking ignoramuses to learn enough shit the hard way so that they don't continue on their disastrous path, that has to come with tough love. And the same reason why we discipline our children, the same reason why we tell them stop eating so much candy, go brush your teeth, go to bed, or it's the same reason why they got to get their ass whooped. I am somebody who has tried and I practice for the most part gentle parenting because I'm too old for this shit. Okay. I'm too old to be out here Captain Kick Ass. You know what I mean? And on a regular basis, I am reminded as to why that ain't what you're supposed to do. If you have the energy and the vitality to kick up in these kids' ass, kick their ass. Don't listen to these people. Kick up in that ass. Because if you don't, then they're going to be lazy. They're going to be spoiled. They're going to be shiftless. And they're going to be kicking your ass. And when you send them off into the world, they're not going to know what to do. And then they will be followers. They'll be following whoever else look like they got a bright idea. Right on down to death, hell, and destruction. These young men running around here gangbanging, they're not gangbanging because they don't know their fucking daddy. They gangbanging because they lazy ass mamas is not kicking up in that ass. Their mama is not telling them, son, this is what I expect you and what of you, and this is how I expect you to conduct yourself. Not just I want you to go get some money and help me pay this rent. They're not telling their sons, I expect if you get a girlfriend that you be faithful to her and be honest and tell her the truth. You don't want these bitches to be single. They're not telling their son, if you go and get a job, I expect you to show up on time, have your damn hair combed, and be responsible. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and take you and buy your first suit. I'm going to get you a resume case to put your resume in. I'm going to show you how to go down to the Kinko's or to go down to the Staples or whatever. Go on Amazon and order resume paper to print your resume out on and get you a leather case to put your resume in and how to show up. I'm gonna teach you how to show up in the world so that you'll be taken seriously. I'm gonna show you the benefits of what happens when you take pride in what you're doing and you carry yourself in a particular manner. These bitches are not doing that. These bitches don't teach these little boys nothing, but tell them, oh man gonna be a heartbreaker one day, and leave him in the television to figure it out. And then the next thing you know, these young men are lost and they like the little lost boys in Pinocchio getting turned into jackasses and Democrats every damn day. Let's
Do
go.
you have the impression that good people are more excluded and less liked than others? Well, it's not just an impression. There have been studies that show that people that are very altruistic tend to be more excluded from groups, more disliked than the average person. This is called the do-gooder derogation or antisocial punishment. Altruism is a very good trait to have. It has a hereditary and genetic component by mutation, for example, in D4R4 gene that codes for a dopamine receptor. Interestingly, this is a similar mutation that happens also in people with ADHD, which is why people with ADHD have been reported to be more generous and more altruistic than others. So, why are they discriminated? Altruism is generally a good trait to have. It brings up the level of the group or the community because it helps everyone and it also helps the individual. Altruism levels have been correlated to a better mental health, to less depression, less anxiety, and more happiness. But people who have very high levels of altruism are also more disliked than others, and they are just as disliked as people who are very egotistical, who take everything and give nothing to the group. Studies that observe the phenomenon explain this because people that are very altruistic in a group basically make others look bad. On top of this, people who are not altruistic and see a very altruistic person always have the feeling that they are judged by the altruistic person. Because of this and because of this feeling of being judged, they judge the person back and they try to find excuses to exclude them from the group and to find some kind of defects that they have. This has been shown especially in experiments that involve money. When there are people in a group with money games that are very altruistic and give back to the group, they tend to be more excluded from these studies by the other participants because the other participants believe that this person kind of cheats or they cannot be that altruistic and they have some kind of ulterior motive. And on top of that, it makes them look bad and they don't like that. And because of an internal cognitive dissonance, they tend and end up disliking the altruistic person and excluding them altogether. The same studies have shown that this exclusion and this dislike happens also at the very personal cost of people who exclude the altruistic person. Even if they lose something, they prefer to lose the altruistic person and to exclude them from the group than to gain more money or to gain more things. And because in society we say that being altruistic is a good thing, people that are very altruistic and end up being excluded often think that they were not altruistic enough and they become often people pleasers. The conclusion of this is that although altruism is beneficial for a group, it's often detrimental to the individual. So some healthy amount of selfishness is often good. Do you have the impression?
Bravo. Bravo. What a wonderfully. I mean, he was talking really fast, but that's a lot of information to get out. And I would just love to hear other people expound on that, you know? Um, and so, that would explain like the Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, but I mean, he was gonna but your taxes were lower, but the gas was cheaper. There were more jobs coming back to America. The border was, I mean, it wasn't a pouring in like it is right now. We were say law and order. There were no wars going on. Yeah, but you remember he said he was gonna do this and grab girls by the pussy and whatever. He wasn't really that good. And let's go look for some shit, some reason to make him out to be the bad guy, even though whatever he's doing in his personal life really doesn't have anything to do with me. I can't overlook the fact that he cheated on his wives, and I'm willing to have a less comfortable life, uh, less comfortable life in general, because I don't want to be associated with Trump, somebody who is such a horrible person based on some shit. I mean, okay, he's been married 3 times. I'm currently cheating on my wife, but he's been divorced a couple times, and he has different baby mamas, and he's a rich man who hooked up with a hooker, and it's the first time I've ever heard of that. You know what I mean? It doesn't make no sense. They'll cut off their own nose to spite their fucking face, and it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.